Hey guys, I'm Camelia and welcome back to my channel. So today I will be talking about pick-me energies, and I know that it's like a tiring topic because like everyone has talked about it and whatnot, but you would be surprised at the amount of people who don't know what that is. And of course it's not necessary to, know every term on the internet these days or even terms that were relevant from like 10, 15 years back. But the thing is, I know that a lot of people talk about kind of the detrimental effects of, how a pick-me energy can affect you, your friend group, your life in general, but because it's like a joke, like people think that they take them as a joke, you would just think that, it doesn't really matter. But in this video, I will not only be talking about pick-me energies and, like the kind of pick-me energies that no one really realizes that they are people who are similar to pick-me energies, and lastly I will be talking about how detrimental they can actually be, and how harmful they can be in your lives, because essentially some of them can be just like any old narcissist. So if you have stuck this far, I hope you stay until the end of the video, and thank you so much in advance for listening. Sorry. So anyways, a pick-me energy. What is a pick-me energy? And definitions may kind of be confusing because like everywhere on the internet there could be one definition or another, but I guess every definition has like the basic idea. Correct? Basically, pick-me energy is usually they think of pick-me girls. When you're thinking about a girl, they kind of like do everything in the name of validation from boys. So you all have probably heard about like the common type of pick-me energies, like, oh, I'm not really like other girls, like I'm better than them because girls are just so typical and shallow and feminine, and I'm like cooler than them because I'm one of the boys, so I get picked by the boys. But it's not necessarily that obvious. Like no one's gonna be like, oh my god, I am just like one of the boys. Okay, people do that, but they're like other different forms as well. So let me give you an example. So when I was younger, there was this girl who was like, oh my god, you like pink? That is so not cool. Black is cool. Like you're a loser for liking pink. I don't know why people like talk to you, blah, blah, blah. But, you would be like, it's just a color. So both, we were younger, so we were like, it's like war of the colors. But basically that girl had said that because in the eyes of boys, black is cool and pink is stupid. Like back then it was, and in the 7th grade, 8th grade, it's like everyone is very immature, obviously, and everyone wants validation. Even now, people still do like validation, whether you want to admit it or not. But that's kind of like an example of a person who takes like anything. It could be any basic issue, like even like I mentioned, a color, but they want validation from the eyes of a guy. Because whenever a guy picks a girl, that's the coolest thing in the world and is the most important. Make that your goal. Anyways, now a pick-me guy, he's kind of different, and whenever I look up pick-me guys, like the memes or like YouTube videos or like TikTok skits or whatever, it's always like the guy who's like, oh, I'm not cool. Like they're like kind of that incel, like I'm ugly, which is why no girl wants me, but that's also not, not just, they're not the only kind of pick-me boys. As you've seen, like the where's my hug kind of guy, they can also be a pick-me boy, because at the end they just want validation from a girl. They can be the nice guys, like nice guys only finish last, or they can be that best friend of yours. He really wants you to just break up with your boyfriend, but he's not gonna be able to like say it out loud, so he's gonna sneakily show how better he is than, your boyfriend. And it could be that your boyfriend is a totally, green flag guy, but no, this best friend of yours just wants you. So those can be the examples. And if you ask me who is more harmful, the pick-me guy or the pick-me girl, well, both are harmful. And honestly, I feel like it's obviously the patriarchy's fault, because there's like, it's not just men or it's not just women. It's like this idea of ideals for both men and women, and in order to please those ideals, there are still people who would, like just try to confine to those ideals in order to be picked, Because at the end of the day, we all just want love, we all want a community, we want to be recognized, but then some people do it in a super shallow and toxic way. So there are parts of the world where pick-me energies are not mocked, they are embraced. So for example, on social media, because social media is like a great thing, but it also exposes you to people's mentalities, because people can be anonymous or just away from others while still speaking their mind, so that, it's not as embarrassing if you say something wrong. So I have seen, girls who are always like, ooh, I don't understand why other girls wear eyeliner or makeup, or they're like, I don't understand like why girls would be wearing short clothes or blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I just don't understand it. I'm sweet and I'm simple and I don't even know the spelling of eyeliner. And then you see like a bunch of guys under their comments like, ooh, I want a wife, or like I want a girlfriend like that. And that's just the basic. And we like laugh at things like that. But then when it gets a little bit more serious is when people are like, like this is so-and-so is husband or wife material. And disclaimer, like you can have, a type of person you want to get with, like get married with. You can have husband or wife material, literally, but people are not materials. But either way, you can have an ideal companion in your mind. But this is where like pick-me energies, if they are validated and if they are accepted by certain kinds of people, this is where it gets wrong, because then they'll be like, a pick-me energy, she's just so much like the boys. She does not put in effort to be, to impress the boys, so she's natural. She's just not like the other girls, so she's not a gossip queen. She's not a drama queen, so she is wife material. But before that, it's like, let's have fun with the other girls, just to get a little taste of every kind of food item out there. And then let's stick to the pick-me energy and get married to her. So these are obviously not like, the only examples in the world, but these are some things that I have seen where it's like underneath a pick-me energies post, they'll be like, every girl is so blah, blah, blah. But, why are not you like this? And it is highly annoying. And you can have pick-me energy friends too, where they are like, they're constantly shaming you for your accomplishments, constantly being like, why does this happen to you? This never happens to us, because boys don't do this to us. Or like, even in cases of SA, where they're like, or some kind of bad things, they're like, well, this never really happens to us because we're not that kind of a girl. So even then, it's like, you can be a pick-me energy. And I know the traditional definition of pick-me energy girl or a guy is like validation from the opposite gender. But sometimes it's like you do things to get validation from the same gender. Or even if you want opposite gender validation, you can still pretend to, you can, in certain cases, like even me, I'll give an example where you can be different from other girls without, it being obvious, just to get validation. So, for example, when I was younger, every guy had a crush on Megan Fox. And of course, all the girls were like, ew, I don't understand why they have a crush on Megan Fox. Like, she's so plastic, she's a bimbo, whatever. And me, to seem cool to the guys, I was like, why? I think that Megan Fox is pretty. And I was just like, I don't get jealous of her. I don't get hate from her. Like, she's a celebrity. And even if she wasn't, she's pretty. Like, what is wrong with admitting that? And keep in mind, I did think she was pretty, but it's not like I said this to, encourage an atmosphere of no toxicity or to not be pitted against women. No, I said this because I wanted all the other guys to be like, oh, she's so chill with even like a beautiful actress or like a hot actress, where we don't need to worry about her competing with other girls. So I just did that so that I did not look like the other girls. So, things like that can be a little less obvious, but pick-me energies can be really annoying, because if you are doing well in life, they will be very, very unhappy for you. And most of the time, it's like, they're not that obvious. And I have talked about pick-me energy girls a lot, so let me get to the pick-me boys. So they can be friends, they can be pretty much anyone who will be like, well, I'm so nice to you, you can, like, you are saying hi to me, and I'm not pushing you to send me videos or like doing anything creepy. So I'm doing just the bare minimum, but I'm expecting you to marry me. So like, why aren't you giving me validation? So incels and pick-me energies kind of like almost kind of touch that line together. And they can also be very dangerous, if you say no, some people can easily attack you. And I know that we always talk about the guys who, a lot of guys attack girls both online and in real life, but a lot of girls can do that too. There are a lot of people who can't take rejection, regardless of gender. So some of the times they're just very, let's just say, angry about it, but they won't really do anything in real life. Other times they can stalk you, harm you. So things like that can happen, but those are kind of like the extremes. And now, kind of related to pick me energies, what about the people who want validation from their own genders and therefore they disrespect the other genders? We don't really have a name for that, so I don't know what to call that. They're like reverse pick me energy, I guess. So this is controversial and maybe I'll get canceled, but I've seen on threads, I've seen on Twitter that a lot of people are like, girls, I love the whole women supporting women thing, but then they're also like trashing on the men, even on normal men who just want to like hype other women up, to not give in with the patriarchy, where the women are like, every guy, please get away from you, I hate you, or something like that. Or they're always like, every guy is a bad person, and on purpose they will play the woman card, and they will like, hit guys, literally berate them and expect nothing to happen to them because, they are women. So anything they will say to get validation from women. And also the same thing can happen with guys too, where they want validation from alpha guys like Andrew Tate kind of guys. So what do we call them? So basically, I think that the concept of pick me energies, pick me guys, pick me girls, whatever, abolish that. Basically, it's just people who want validation by trying to not be like other people so that they can seem super cool. And it can range anywhere from like little things like trashing someone's choices to shaming them, slut shaming, whether that is slut shaming or just choice shaming, or shaming them from being too feminine, too masculine, regardless of gender, to really kind of toxic things where it's like, I am nothing like, people from my own gender or the opposite gender, but I still don't get picked, whether that is friends or, a partner. So in rage, I must finish everyone off. So, that is something that they can do. And you'll probably were thinking that, pick me energies are not a big deal, but it really is. Like, it can be very traumatizing to many people who are still trying to fit in, where they will see, pick me energies, and they might see other people validating those pick me energies, and then they will get super depressed, like, oh no one will like me if, I'm just like myself. And just a disclaimer, pick me energy does not mean that you can't be, like a tomboy, or you can't have interests that are not feminine or masculine or per se anything like that. No, it just means that you have the power to be yourself. You should be yourself without tearing someone else down, and you should be yourself just for the sake of being yourself without it being like a sneaky strategy to get validation from other people, because there are people on the internet who will just hate on you no matter what. So I guess the haters are the biggest pick me energies, in my opinion. And I think that the spread of social media, where things are starting to get normalized, like healthy things are getting normalized, like being yourself, self-expression, but then so are, unhealthy things, because there are communities all around the world which want power. So even negative people, they also want power. They want to be listened to. They want to be validated. So it just depends on, where your algorithm sends you to. So it can send you a total impression about society, like, oh, they will never like me because they like all these pick me energies just running around, so I can never be myself. Or you'll think like, oh, I must be like them, therefore completely killing your individuality. So I think that is an extreme statement, but I think that pick me energy people, well, basically haters, are just detrimental towards society. So correct me if you wanna in the comments, and thank you guys for listening. Bye.